Let me send this thing over, man. You got to make sure you send your Facebook thing too. Soon, brother. I hope we'll just pay somebody to host this thing.
Is that what happens? Outsource it?
What do you say?
Outsource it?
Yeah, I think it'd be nice. What do you think?
Yeah, man, that sounds good to me.
It's good seeing you, my brother.
You look all sharp. You shaved all clean, huh?
I got this new shaver, Ronnie. I got to tell you, it's a little mini shaver. I used to just use my clippers. So now that I'm using my little shaver, I come out a little cleaner.
That's nice.
And I seem to be, people want to give me money.
Because you look clean?
I don't know. Come on over. Welcome, class. Welcome to another Ask a Haskins on Friday. I want to thank my brother, Ronnie Haskins. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? How you doing, Chris?
Man, I'm blessed. Just real fast, some background. My brother's been a car dealer since 2000. Full-time entrepreneur. Ronnie, I want to thank you for your time today. I know you're busy, but thank you.
You're very welcome, Chris. And let's tell everybody who you are. You are a 5-year music producer and 15-year real estate mogul who is mastering his trade globally now. And I'm learning from you every week, little brother.
Thank you. Thank you. And the same for you, too. You should go into modeling. You ever did any modeling, Ronnie?
Yeah, I have. I did modeling. You know what? I wouldn't mind doing it again. But I was so spoiled as a model, man. They would just, remember beepers?
Yeah.
They would just page me and say, "Do you want this job?" And then I would show up and get $180 an hour. Back in the early 90s. It was a lot of money, dude. Just show up and put on a suit and take pictures.
You are joking.
Nah, man, it was a good time in Minnesota.
Unbelievable. All right, let me click this thing so I can get on here. I can moderate. Guys, class, thank you for joining us. My goal, my mission statement, my ministry is to raise the financial literacy of my fellow man through real estate investing / entrepreneurship. Today, me and my brother and I are going to be sharing with you 5 steps that we talk more. My brother and I over the last 20 years probably talked once every 6 months, but now that we are raising the financial literacy of our fellow mankind, we're talking every day. Ronnie, thanks for your time, brother.
You're welcome, Chris. Thanks for your time, my man. How's it going with the kids today? Did you get to the book fair?
I did. So for my viewers, we had to push it back today. Ronnie and I, the good thing that, I don't care. Money is secondary to me. Time. I met with a coaching client the other day. He said, man, my most important thing is how can I make more money? And I'm like, listen, brother, the money is cool, but the time is more important. You can always go out there. Government is printing it every day, right?
Every day.
They're printing money every day. So you can go out there and make money, but you cannot make more time. So Ronnie, you helped me get out there to my kids. Today was the last day of the book fair. So I went to the book fair and bought some books, and everybody's happy now.
Fantastic, man. I'm just glad to hear that those girls are reading. Brittany's reading, my daughter's reading books, but Jude is working on it too. He's starting to get into Halo books and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
They're so different. One reading at 4 and then one doesn't want to read ever. It's like it's almost like they come from different parents.
So Taylor and Jude are the same way.
Yeah, it's like they're like, are you from the same parents? I mean,
yeah, it's crazy, man.
All right, let's do this, Ronnie. So today's topic was
think big and master the small things.
Yes, think big and master the small things. Tell me a little bit about how that came up, Ronnie, between you and I.
I tell you what, we always think big, and you have dreams and you have aspirations and you have goals, and they need to be lofty enough and out there enough for you to accomplish them, or you'll just stay complacent. But that's great. I mean, that's a whole nother video about your vision and where you're going in life and where you want to be in life.
Yeah.
But in order to get to your first goal, you have to master a lot of small things that help lead you to that goal. And you and I were spending some time talking about it on the phone. You know, like give me an example in your life that you've been thinking big, but you've worked real small to get those things done.
Yeah, we're gonna before we cover. We got 5 steps that Ronnie and I kind of brainstorm. That's why I love talking to you because I get to you sharpen my axe, and then that stuff's biblical, man. Hanging out with the right people that sharpen your brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, the majority of my coaching clients, Ronnie, and this is the majority of us. Even before I got into real estate, I wanted to be a realtor and dealer, flipping houses all over the country, flying to different cities, managing properties. I got a whole big rental portfolio of apartment buildings, and I'm just going to hire out a property management company to hire, and I'm going to be in Jamaica drinking back a mojito.
Right on.
Because that can happen. Yes, that is a great lifestyle to try to accomplish. But my thing is this: how the freak you gonna buy your first house for $100,000?
Yeah.
If you haven't mastered the art of buying one house, I promise you, you will not have a multifamily unit. It's just impossible. It's just impossible.
Right. It's very unlikely,
Yeah,
So,
you're right. Improbable. You're right. Improbable, but not impossible.
right. So share one of your events. Like when you started doing this and you were thinking big, right? You were going to leave the music industry and you were going to go into real estate. And then you were thinking just like all of us, I'm going to be big and flipping and I'm going to be on the beach. So when you went through that transition, give us your perspective on how did it go?
Well, when I was retiring from the music business back in 03, it's weird. I see, a lot of rich people that say I'm retired. I'm like, I'm literally retired from the music business. I got out of it. It was destructive. And I made all this money, and I'm like, man, I made a bunch of money, but I ended up losing it. And the millionaire real estate investor, Gary Kellum, talks about all income is only temporary. You can be temporarily in possession of some cash, so you either have to figure out ways to use it to your best ability or sink it into assets. That way it becomes yours to keep.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I need to figure out small ways. How can I get my first house? Forget all of that managing, flipping houses all over the country or the world. How do I get one house? So that's where it broke me. It kind of helped me. And even as I was retiring, Ronnie, to me, in my world, everything boiled down to real estate. When I was flying around to LA, New York, Miami, Atlanta, I always had to be in somebody's studio. I'm like, are they paying rent? Are they paying a mortgage? At the end of the day, you're walking into a piece of real estate, dog, everywhere, So I'm like, and even when I was working up in P. Diddy had a studio back in the day, man, Daddy's house. Walking in there, I'm like, dude, even P. Diddy got to have a location. So I'm like, you know what? This is going to be my thing. I'm going to think about real estate.
So that's how that seed got planted in your mind.
Because everywhere I was going, I'm like, man, I'm sick of paying $100 an hour for studio time, $150 an hour. I'm like, I could just own my own building eventually. But then doing that just wasn't in the cards for me.
You did have a studio though for a while.
I had a $100,000 studio, man, which is worth nothing now. But it was in one of the rooms in my house, I put it in one of the rooms. It's not worth anything.
That's really cool. I mean, like, we're not talking about the how-tos right now. We're talking about how these things formulate in your mind.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So for the viewers, like when I started out, I had like this big dream of I'm going to own a dealership. I was going to own a Honda dealership. And I had this thing laid out, Chris. It was like I was going to be on the show floor and you'd come in and I'd be like, you like the price? Let's get it done. And you'd be like, man, I just wanted $500 off. Ronnie, we're so close. And I'd be like, all right, pick a sport in the dealership. I'll shoot you for it. Hockey, basketball, horseshoes. I was going to have all this stuff set up. Like if we're $500 away, I would shoot you for it. I mean, not shoot you, but
basketball,
football, whatever. But, what gets lost in the dreams is the how-tos, the everyday minutia that you have to master in order to move yourself to the next level. And people take it for granted, man. Like, it's not just the work getting done. Like if we're saying you need to go knock on 5 doors a day or make 5 cold calls a day, just getting it done is one thing, but the learning that goes on in making those phone calls and what your mind adjusts and changes to from dealing with different personalities is amazing. You just can't go buy that or read it in a book. So
Yep.
doing the work is really what it takes.
Nice. You're right. I remember you telling me about that. You're going to be the wheeler and dealer of the car master.
Yeah, a long time ago. I gave that dream up too. It's worth nothing.
All right, let's get into some stuff. One second, I got Billy. I got to show my viewers this stuff. This is what I deal with. So I get to be the real estate guru, right? You know, Ronnie, I get to rental portfolio. I'm managing hundreds of thousands. You know, same thing as you. You're doing 2 or 3 cars a day. You're doing business, and I'm nothing but a bona fide dog sitter. And the dog, every time I do something, he just bites. He loves to pick at me. So bear with us, guys. All right, brother Ronnie. First thing we talked about on our session together was, you want me to start or you want to do? Yeah, let me do that. I went to a Tony Robbins 5-day thing, Ronnie, where he had me walking on coals. You know, he's got that thing where you can walk on what is it? I can't remember what it's called. He's got a name for it, but it's a point where he gets you into, he calls it getting you in a state, and he has you walking on these hot coals, and there is no research to show that while the hot coals don't burn you, but as long as you get over them in a certain amount of time, they don't burn your feet.
Wow.
I don't know, huh?
I said, wow.
Yeah, I don't know why it works, but it works, and he zaps you in this mindset. So, but one of the things that stuck out for me regarding working small was he says, jot down some of the things that you need to be doing over the next 30 days, and just pick one thing, and do that one thing. And how that kind of helped me out was, like, I remember I jotted down. I went, I believe what the man said. He's done a lot of stuff for Oprah Winfrey and whoever. I jotted down this one thing that I wanted to do. And that was when I wrote my book about 10 years ago. I'm like, I want to write my book, So I just focused on this one thing, and I was able to do that one thing. And, a lot of other stuff I didn't get done, but I did get the book done, and I moved over to other things. What do you think about focusing on one thing that you need to work on, Ronnie?
Yeah, my brain, I have a difficult time focusing in when I have a lot of things going on. I mean, they just get overwhelming. I mean, like to the point where I'm physically affected, like there's so much stuff that I have up here on my desk, like, deal jackets and stuff like that, that I'm physically under pressure.
Mm.
And so what I find that works for me is just like you, like I'll pick the most difficult task that I have to do for the day and get it done. And that like relieves so much stress for me. So working on it in a systematic way, I think is important.
Well, yeah, I think success is a step-by-step thing, and it's like when people see you and I feel like they think we were maybe, and I don't want to sound cliche as with Beyonce, but we didn't wake up, or we weren't born like this. I remember you back in the day, dude. I remember you, Ryan, coming to visit you, dude. You worked 12-hour days, man. For how many years? I mean, I don't know if it was 12-hour days, but how many hours were you working back in the day?
It was at least 12. I didn't stop. I was consumed by my dream. Like it was just, I mean, I lost relationships and all this stuff because it was just basically focus on what I was trying to accomplish every day. And you're right. Like now you're like, we don't really work for money. I mean, we all love money. We all love money, but it's not my main focal point anymore, because I'm more concerned with how much time I have left on the planet. And for me, being 48, I have lived more years than I'm expected to live.
Wow. What do you mean?
Well, that came out wrong. I have lived more now than I have left. If you look at it on paper, if I live till I'm 80, I'm already over halfway there. I'm 48, so
wow.
I have less years left than I already have lived. So what am I going to do with that time?
Mm.
I don't, the answer isn't sell more cars. The answer is travel more, go to the pyramids, do things of that nature.
Yeah, you better not be worried about selling a damn car. I mean, that's a good one there. No one in the hospital, that no one's like, man, what's going on with that deal?
I know, right? That's exactly right.
No one's worried about a damn deal, and they got. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. So the one thing, class today, please pick out one thing. One thing. Don't try to do a bunch of stuff. Go make your list. Go down your list, and you better. I'm telling you. Matter of fact, I just met with another millionaire friend of mine. You better have your book in your back pocket. Every millionaire I know, without exception, and even Ron LeGrand, if you're watching this and you have heard of Ron LeGrand, he is the real estate guru. Carries a book in his back pocket. I promise you. Every time I go to the foreclosure auction, the millionaire guys, they got books right in their back pockets.
Yeah.
Get one thing, write it down. All right, let's see. You got the, want me to put them up, Ronnie? I'll run them to you.
Go for it.
All right. The other one was, oh yeah, you had a great one. Look in your niche or niche, whatever. Oh yeah, that's right. Any questions you got, guys? Make sure you put questions in the comment box and with your city or city where you're from. If you're from the country, make sure you put your state. Any questions you got? Ronnie, you were talking about you had a guy in the business, like the car business can be A to Z. You got 2 doors, 4 doors, CRVs, box trucks, vans, caravans, minivans, regular truck, bed trucks. Think about a niche inside of your business that could possibly be profitable for you. I really love that.
Well, what he means is like, I have one guy who focuses on contractors. Yeah, we sell cars, but there's people out there, like, especially real estate guys, these electricians and contractors, and they buy trucks. And so you can have an entire business model designed to just help contractors, oil field workers, people in the trades. They make a lot of money and they like nice trucks. So that's a focal point for some of my guys, is to go out and make sure that they're working with those tradespeople and contractors.
So tell me about that. Tell me a little bit more about that. Did that contractors, that's going to be something they have a specific type of car that they're looking for, car, van, truck?
They need help with it. You've got your Ford Transits, your Chevy Express vans. Ram has some ProMasters. Have you ever seen those ProMaster vans?
Mm-mm.
Everybody's going to the high roofs now, so everybody wants to stand up and walk in them now. So
okay.
They're getting taller. But let's say we're talking about big dream. My big dream is to be the contract master in the town. 700,000 people in this town. I want to be the contract master. I'm the guy I want them to call when they're looking for a truck. And so thinking about it and dreaming about it isn't going to happen. So we have to think backwards. We have to think, okay, and then start working your numbers game. Like if I talk to 50 contractors and I have a 25% closing ratio, then 4 or 5 of them are going to talk to me. And so every month you've got to be dialing for dollars, showing up, passing out donuts and cookies, going to the work sites and helping them and being an asset to them in their lives. And what I've found is that the successful people do the things that nobody else wants to do. While everybody else is dreaming about being successful, the successful people are doing it. And it doesn't look like what the dreams look like. It looks like we're writing down a list and making the phone call and getting that list done by 10 o'clock in the morning and setting a timer for yourself. All these little things, Chris.
You know what? I was thinking about that contractor thing. I mean, to me, the way you broke it down, I'm going to do a whole video about owning a car versus leasing a car. I mean, now as I walk in the leasing a car world, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, dude, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And it's like, even for contractors, how much money do they spend on those beat up ass trucks that they drive around? Well, they could probably, I don't know, possibly, if someone were to show them the realm, or I like to say, hey, let's explore some options. That's my line. I stole it from Greg Pinio. Let's explore some options. Let's look at the numbers. how much have they sunk into those old beat up white vans that they drive around, Ronnie, as opposed to just spending $300 a month on a lease? Possibly.
Thousands. You know, it's probably not going to be 300 a month to lease a nice ProMaster, but
What? Yeah, whatever. 5, 4. Yeah, I don't know what it'll be.
yeah, I mean, it's a different way of thinking. You know, when you're talking about the leasing aspect, you might want to talk about the actual consumers instead of the contractors. But there are certain contractors that have huge budgets and understand the philosophy of leasing, and they could partake in that as well. So, but the typical guys, if they're driving the old beat up trucks, if they're going to be spending money on those things constantly, the air conditioning, you know, this, that, and the other. I mean, and unfortunately, that's a whole nother video, but people don't think about that as far as their total outgo of cash. They think, well, it's not costing me a payment, so I keep driving it. But when you add up all of these repair bills right here, and you look at the repair bills, it says $5,000, and you divide that by 12.
600.
So, yeah, okay. So you're spending $600 a month.
You know what though?
And your truck's beat up, you know?
You're spending the money and you're driving a piece of shit.
And you're driving a piece of crap. And you're losing dollars, like, because it breaks down, it's in the shop. While that truck's supposed to be making you money. And so when it's in the shop, it cannot make you money.
Wow.
Think.
I love the way you break it down, Ronnie, man. Yeah, I love it. Because we got to move on, but I enjoy the way you have systematically and been able to turn reality into words that some people, you know, we don't even know this stuff, but you can break it down for me. But further, it's kind of like for me, I don't want to worry about when the next time I'm gonna be sitting in the daggone car shop with doing a repair.
It's a mindset. You know, leasing isn't for everybody. I'm glad you brought this up because we can definitely do a whole daggone video on it, but it's just not for everybody. So when I look at the benefits for me personally, is I'm the same as you. I don't ever want to go to the shop. So on the car we're leasing, I'm changing the oil twice a year and putting gas in it. And before it even needs its first set of tires, I'm turning the keys back in and off to the next one.
This is my landscaper, Ronnie. One sec. Hey guys, you here? Yep.
Sorry guys, I got a cold today. So I've been popping these halls.
Yep, I'm here waiting for you, brother. Oh, bye. Yeah, you don't want to be sitting in there doing repairs either. Thank you you broke that down. You know, it's like I don't want to have to sit. You're gonna turn it in before you even have to do any repair. You know.
That's right.
It's just genius, you know. But it ain't for everybody.
It's not for everybody. Some people want to buy a car and keep it for 12 years. I just have no interest in that. I don't want a car more than 3 years.
Thank you for helping me see that, brother. Thank you.
I'm glad it's working out.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we're still kind of walking the fence. Okay, Ronnie, you were talking about follow up. Master the art of following up.
Yes. So I learned follow up in 1995. One of my managers at the car dealership, he asked me if I was calling my people back. And I was like, calling them for what? What am I calling them for? And he's like, man, you've got to stop wasting time. You've got to call your people back. You know, a lot of us salespeople don't want to call people unless we have an offer or we've got something we need from them. Mm-hmm. But once when we're talking about, you got the big dream of being the best at what you are, but the follow-up isn't there. So spend time following up and investing in the lives of your clients, like asking them how they're doing. You should know what they do for a living. You should know where they live. You should know lots and things about them because you want to have a relationship with them. Mm-hmm. And so that's something you can immediately do. If your business is stagnant and not really where you want it to be, you can think about what are the relationships like with your clients, and you can improve on them by just calling them, asking them how they're doing. Very simple.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody's different, but I actually enjoy hearing about the stories of other people, like the people, my lenders, my investors, my contractors. I like listening to, because they'll come over and tell you about their dog or tell you about their kids or about their landscaping at their house, man. It really, to me, it kind of builds rapport and allows you to do more business easier.
I'll give you an example. I got a text message yesterday from my client. And she's like, we wanted you to know we were in a parking lot and a guy asked him where we got our car. And we told him from you, and I don't know if he's going to call. And I'm like, thank you. How are you and Jerry doing? How are you guys doing? And then they're like, we're hanging in there because the husband isn't doing so well. And it turned into a big, long chain of just us discussing how they're doing. The magic, though, is you have to genuinely be concerned with your customers.
Yeah, you have to
really. We're not talking about manipulation here. Like, I'm going to trick these people into believing that I care about them. No, we're talking about genuinely get involved in people's lives, and then later on, you'll see magic happen in your life. People will show up to buy from you and you wouldn't even know it because you have all of these relationships.
What do you think about the philosophy of taking the mental caring about all of your bills, all of your life, and thinking about other people? Thinking about other people will help to kind of open your mindset, because most of us, we wake up in the morning, me, 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 me. It's like me all day long. But okay, so you're saying you talked to your people that bought a car, you turned it around and you were saying, what about you? Is that kind of the philosophy you're talking about?
It is. It's Ivan Meisner. Ivan Meisner is the founder of BNI. And his phrase is, how can I help? Most people are like, when you meet them or whatever, they're like, here's my card, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And nothing matters unless you're buying their stuff, and you get a little bit of a relationship right when you're buying from them. But as soon as the transaction is complete, they have nothing else for us until the next transaction.
Yeah.
So investing in those relationships, Chris. I mean, I hope that's working out for you out there. But for me, that's like the key to my business, is having relationships with my customers.
Yeah, retention is the new acquisition. But I guess I have to share in real estate. Greg Penio calls it, we keep our clients, you want to put them in the boat so you can row the boat. You're in the back, and we like to canoe. We grew up canoeing. The person in the back, all we literally have to do is take the oar and just gently drop it in the water.
Yeah.
Drop it in the water. And the person in front, all they do is just row.
Yeah.
And we can steer the boat. I love it. Great Penny, get them in the boat.
I like that, Chris. That's fantastic. I like that. That's fantastic. Get them in the boat.
Get them in the boat.
But then you got to be a shepherd. You got to take care of your flock. You got to take care of them.
Yeah, this is no trickery. This is nothing. It comes to walk, man. It's almost like you live it, and it's people like, I remember sometimes I call people, they'll be like, why are you asking me that? I might ask them about their father. I remember one guy's like, I'm like, how's your dad?
Yeah.
Like, why are you asking me that? I'm like, I'm just checking on you, brother. You know what is weird? Dan Kennedy says the listening is a lost art form.
Yeah, man. It's really gone,
So following up to continue the sale, and I got to tell you, the majority, I say 9 out of the 10 deals that I do are not on the first exchange. How about in the car business?
No. When I meet people, it takes a long time to build the rapport and the trust.
Mm-hmm.
And so we probably go through 6 or 7 different exchanges before we're ready to even sit down and have an appointment, and talk about it. So yeah, it's never on the first time. I can barely breathe today, bro. I'm sorry, man.
You good? Oh, Mr. Transaction Engineer's here. What up, dog?
Eddie?
Yeah, you can't call him that. You can't call him that.
What's up, Mr. Transaction?
This dude's crazy. All right, he knows what I'm talking about. He's laughing, no doubt, about that boat thing.
Yeah.
Networking. Okay, Ronnie, you're talking about learn to number 3. We got 1, 2, resistance. We did my Tony Robbins. Let me go here first, man. Let's talk about a little thing that I like to do, Ronnie, is I did some research, man, and the research said, I don't have the numbers here in front of me, but it says that the majority of workers spend, at least X amount of hours looking at email, checking email to see if they have an email. So what I like to do another one for me is I like to just completely say, you know what? I like default things, like by default. If I log out of my email, tell me about you. I like to log out of Billy. I just completely log out of my email so I know that no matter what, I'm not going to get an email for the next X hours.
Yeah. I haven't mastered that. I was watching this on a show, Bill Maher. It's like your phone is like a reward system. Like, oh, I got a red notification, so I got to go get my reward. And your reward is somebody liked your post or somebody shared your post. Like this thing. You're absolutely right. I need to work on that. Like logging out of my email.
But
That's
you were
something I've
saying
never done.
something about, but you were saying something about your business. You might have to the speed of return communication or something.
Well, yeah, so everybody's industry is different. You like to log out and take time to do what you have to do. For me, it's about speed of connection. So basically, when someone starts thinking about buying a car, they actually get online and email me. The first in wins. So basically, until someone connects with them and starts saying hello and talking to them, they're continuously looking for the next solution because, nobody has spoken to them.
That's the nature of the internet, though, right?
It is, and I think people want immediate gratification, so we try to deliver it. Even if it's just, hey, we're busy, we'll call you back later. You need to at least make some type of thing. So I guess you could even shut your email off, log off for a while to be more productive. But you can have autoresponders so that when someone emails you, they can get an immediate response. They still need to be phone called that day, though.
Yeah, they gotta be that day. You know what's so crazy, brother? It's just different how our businesses are different. That's why I love the real estate. Just personal.
Yeah,
The people that are selling a house, it's like we have a built-in business. First thing with real estate, it's gonna be big dollars. Built in, right?
yeah,
Second, it's gonna take a long time.
really. Like,
I mean,
what's the average transaction time? Like 6 months?
well, I mean, for me, we close in. I mean, I can close in 2 days, but I'm just talking about the perception of the real estate businesses. People be like, man, I know it's gonna take you. Well, 45 to 2 months to buy a house.
Yeah, yeah. The perception in my industry is like consumers, man. This is the second most expensive thing you will buy in your life.
Wow.
Unless you buy a $400,000 ring for your wife. This is it. Like, and they get more expensive the older you get. Like, you start out with a $5,000 car, which at that point in your life, that was probably the most money you've ever spent. Then you buy a house for $150,000, your starter house, and so the car's $20,000 now. Number two on the list, but it never gets. There's not one thing I can think of that you'll spend more money on than a house, and then secondly a car. And people make decisions on it in lightning speed. It's like they don't think it through. So I try to help my clients think it through.
We don't think it through. I know it's just emotional. Even with a house or a car, it's so emotional.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I try to keep it out of it, but man, people push that emotion back in there, and I like to have. I'm like, man, you want to spend more.
Well, we all do that. Emotion is hard when you're in it. Even when I'm like with my houses, I'm so emotional. But when I look at somebody else's house, I don't, I have no emotion to it. If I'm looking at a house. But if you're in it, just like with your, even with your car you drive every day, you're in it every day. It's hard to see.
Yeah. Can't see the forest because of the trees.
There you go. Okay, so log out of email, guys. Please. I got a whole training on that on 14 time wasters on my channel. Log out of Billy. Log out of email. It has helped me. If you just log out for X amount of hours, I promise you, the world will not end in 3 hours if you don't check your email.
I'll get back to you on that. I'll try that. I got like 3 boxes up. You want to see my boxes?
Yeah, let's see it.
Look at this. So let me share the screen. Hold on. It's amazing you even said that about the stuff, but like, wait, that's the wrong screen. Screen 1. It's going to go, hold on. Let me move it over here, Chris. Okay, I'm going to share it. Check this out. I have all of these emails open and all of these tabs open. Look at all this clutter.
Ronnie, if you're sharing the screen, we got the other screen. You can't do a screen. I don't think so. Let you share a screen with 2 screens attached.
See it now?
Yeah, I got it.
Look at this box. This box has 9,600 emails in it.
Okay.
This box I just opened today, and this box has 9,500 emails on it.
Oh my Lord. Are there two different emails you have?
Yeah, they're different emails.
Now tell me what the emails are for. Why do you have so many in both?
Well, I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't keep up with having personal email and business email at the same time, so I split them. In actuality, I wish I just would have deleted the personal email. But like when if I subscribe to something, like I'm in Home Depot and they're like, "Would you like to be on our list? You'll save 5%." I'll be like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I don't want that email to show up in my work email clutter, so I move it over there. I mean, I know I'm doing it the wrong way, but it's definitely a time waster for me. I mean and I'm afraid to delete them because people will call me, Chris. In my world, people will call me and be like, "Hey, you quoted me a price, or how much does that car cost?" And I'm like, "I think I emailed them like 8 months ago," and I want to be able to search it and find it because I like to speak intelligently about stuff. I don't like to speak about speculation. Like, I think we said this. I like to be able to tell you this is exactly the email I sent you on this date, and here's the number.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean,
all right. Well,
I should probably delete the other one though.
that email shit, man, it will just drive you crazy. Okay, we got one more point we're gonna drop on you, and then we're gonna get to our questions, and then we are gone. Is that cool, Ronnie?
Well, we got one more point, then we got to give them some how-tos.
All right, we got we did the networking. We did
well, not really. You were just talking about networking, like we were talking about what you can do to get to your big dream. And if you're networking, like the first thing that came out of your mouth is certain people are afraid to go networking. Like they're afraid to show up at the REI, or what do you call those things in your town?
Well, we're covering networking. This is number 5, networking. Learn how to be a better networker, and Ronnie has some good tips. So yes, we have real estate investing groups here. But when I started out, we're gonna go in with networking now, right?
Yes, sir.
When I started out in real estate business, I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. There was very few people in the business that looked like me.
Okay.
As over time, I can see a transition over time, but it's very, very small. When I would go to my network, when I go to my local real estate meetings, I felt so out of place. I had no knowledge, no know what to do. There were just a few cliques of people that were out there doing deals and stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't fit in here. So I had to learn how to network, and I didn't at the beginning of the business. I didn't know how to do that. Ronnie, you got some good tips on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, so first of all, I would get rid of that fear that you're the only one that looks like you in the room. I've been living that way since 90, I don't know, forever. But you're right. When I show up, I'm the only one in the room. But so what? That's just another excuse to sit at home. But like Chris, when I started, I remember like I put the event in my calendar, like I'm going to the networking event, and there was so much fear and self-doubt that there were times I'm like, well, I really want to see this TV show, so I'm not going to that networking event. And I would just skip the event. So, when we're talking about being more effective, getting to the big dream, trying to keep it on topic.
The networking, go Ronnie,
is the goal, but how are you going to do it? What steps are you going to accomplish every day? Networking is big. So when you finally show up to one of those networking events, Billy. So when you finally show up to one of those networking events, Ivan Meisner, he's the founder of BNI. He's got this statement. He's like, look, you can't go into a networking event of 50 people and get everybody's business card and then email everybody and put them in a follow-up chain. That's not networking. Networking is when you go to an event that there's 50 people at, and through time of that evening, you identify 5 people that you want to connect with. And they may be contractors. They may be people that are investors. They may be potential clients, whatever the case may be. Identify them and then ask them for their card and ask them if you can follow up with them. And so that's a good night of getting something done as far as mastering the small things, work in that networking room, getting 5 people you can connect with, and then going back and then getting that work done.
That's a great point. I got to pay the landscapers. They showed up.
Yeah, we were laughing at Billy.
Oh my God. I'll get to him in a minute. I never knew about that five thing. Whenever I'm going to networking meetings, and then, you know what, I'm embarrassed because I don't even own business cards. I haven't had any for 5 years, man. I'm so embarrassed to say, but I got to keep speaking it so it'll make me go get them.
Yeah.
But that 5-person thing, because you're right. When you go meet people, I can't stand it when someone comes up to me like this.
Oh man, it's like you got on that cologne, that desperation cologne. Everybody can smell it, but like, yeah, man. I mean, you've got to put purpose behind your actions, and they're just small things. You know, you like, and no, forget the networking thing. Just say that you're going to check on and follow up with your contractors. Have you ever thought about going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting them some donuts? You don't even have to go there. You can go to King Supers or go to Piggly Wiggly. Just showing up with a donut and being like, "Hey, I'm here to help you guys out. How's the project going?" You know, being nice to them. So, you know, thinking about that big dream and being a house flipper and owning your own stuff and doing all that is great. But these are just some tips that we can talk about that'll help you get to that level so that you can achieve it. And these things are difficult at first, but over time, they become second nature. Trust me, they become very easy to do.
So you want to go some questions, Ron, or you got some other how-to stuff you want to drop in?
Well, one thing. So I learned this from you, Chris. So if you're at home or if you're watching and you're thinking of how you can master some small steps, Chris taught me this one. Gratitude. Grat. Gratitude. You got to be grateful. And so basically, you know, in the morning when you get up, you're not going to be at that big dream. Remember, this whole video is about reaching the big goal by mastering the small things. You have got to believe in yourself. You've got to get up and when you're brushing your teeth, look in that mirror and say, man, I'm going to go kill it today. I'm going to crush it. And you know what you might be crushing? Making 10 phone calls. So, you know, you just got to set yourself up that way and change your mindset so that when you achieve this, it feels just as big as you signing $1 million real estate deal. And so that is super important. You've got to be grateful and look at your life. Your kids are healthy. You don't really need anything else today. That's like a super blessing. So be thankful for that and get up and go crush it.
Right.
That's what I wanted to share.
Nice. All right. Let's see what we got here, man. San Antonio. Hey, Rosanna. Rosanna, I have not forgot you. I promise. Anyway. No excuses. Daryl. What's up, brother? Pamela Sneed. Yes, we are going to be doing. I'm working with Eddie. We're working on a weekend boot camp, Pamela. We're working on the subject 2. Something you got to come learn how to do subject 2. Hey, Ronnie, I forgot to mention for my real estate people. You talked about having a niche of a niche. Like your business is cars, and you would say, and focusing on the contractors.
Yeah.
A lot of, well, even for myself, I wanted to be doing all different type of strategies. Like in real estate, we don't focus on, I call it conventional, going to get a loan, turning in tax returns, turning in bank statements, FICO scores, credit report, all that crap. So I didn't focus on that. I niched down and I'm like, I'm going to focus on creative real estate. You know, I don't want to have to deal with the bank. So that was a niche thing that we dealt with.
Right. And you master it.
Well, I feel like I'm mastering it. You know, I'm still walking in it though.
You put in 10,000 hours.
Yeah. You know, I could probably close any type of deal. Yeah, but it's still changing. You know, so the business is changing. But yes, I'm an expert. I am an expert. I'm still learning though.
Got it. Always be learning. Is that something you would share with the people? Like, that's a great point. Like you, at least after all these years, you still think you can learn more.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh wow. I mean, when I think that I know something, Ryan, I find out something that I know nothing about, and
That's great.
it's so humbling.
Yeah, nobody wants to work with you when you know it all. I'm struggling with that right now with my clients. I'm like, I know y'all shouldn't be buying the car this particular way, but still allowing them to do it the way they want to do it. You know, like try not to be just a know-it-all dad. You know, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. All right, no joke auto. Okay, he must be in the auto business. Hey guys, when getting started in real estate, is it best to partner or just do it yourself? Best to partner or do it yourself. This is from No Joke. Where you at, No Joke Auto? Well, both of us own real estate. Ronnie, you want to start? You want to give a nugget on that one?
Yeah, I have not been a big fan of partnering myself, because I can't. My work ethic is different. I know, like, especially if I'm growing something and I'm just starting out, I would like to see what pitfalls are ahead of me before I bring somebody else into it. Unless that person is like Chris, like if Chris is going to let me be his sub partner or whatever the case may be, so I can learn,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. But yeah, for me, Chris, I'd say do it on your own first. And then, if you're going into money issues or things of that nature and someone is on the same path as you, get a lawyer and then get a partner.
You know what? That's why I enjoy talking to you so much, brother. Because it's so crazy. Your points are so valid.
You think? I
They're
think.
so valid and they're so different. It's kind of like I love it. It just gives me chills. And my own brother, I didn't even know you. The check's right there on the. I left the check on the front porch for the guy, so he wouldn't have to bother me. Let me go tell him the check is there, Ronnie. 30 seconds.
Welcome to Billy's house. Chris is working for Billy. Thanks for the comment, no joke, Otto.
The check's right there, bro. Okay. Thank you.
What's up, Rosanna? How you doing today?
Partnering. Yes, guys. Thank you for dealing with my crazy day. You know what? Thank you. Partnering. I have philosophy on partnering. Yes, I love it. Partnering. I love partnerships. Two trains of thought when you're talking about partnerships. Matter of fact, I even deal with my family. I even deal with my brother and my parents and my other family members and friends. I'm all in business with all of them. It works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody. And I'm not saying I'm good or bad, right or wrong, good or bad. Yeah, I'm not right or wrong, good or bad. I like that little preface. So, partnerships. Try to find people that are, you got two ways. Somebody that has similar interests, you can grow together, right? You can grow together. Ronnie says it's hard to find people that work like him. I agree. However, just like trying to find a wife, you got to go through a lot. Very rarely that I find people that work as hard as me. Very rarely. Very rarely. But I know there are people out there that, Ronnie, probably work harder than us.
Yes.
So who am I to say you're not going to work hard as me, because you might work even harder. So find somebody, if you want an accountability partner you can grow with. Two, do not use, if you're starting out, you better not be using people's private money. In real estate, we call it private money. I want you using conventional or hard money, all right? And there's some videos on my channel that differentiate the two between private and hard money. I don't want you using any money if you're starting out. Please, if you can't make money without money, you cannot make money with money. Please remember that. So if you have a big influx of cash and you think you're going to go out there and do a deal, get the knowledge first. Partner up with somebody. For me, what I did, I partnered up with people I was using their credit, and I would split the deal with people. I'm like, look, I'll be the managing partner. This is years ago. You get the property. I'll bring some of the down payment. We'll split the down payment and move forward. Or I would be the money guy. Now I'm just the money guy. I'm like, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm just going to bring the money to the deal. I'm going to bring my lenders in. You help manage it. I love partnerships because it gets me off the hook. I can be here making videos with you, and I'm literally buying a house today because my partners are going to close on it,
Right on.
So, yeah. So it's just different philosophies. But, Ronnie, I will say, the people that I'm working with now, they're experts. They're experts. I can trust them. I can give them a check for $20,000. I know they're going to do what they say. You with me? Like you're not going to find a lot of people that are going to do exactly what they say. So as Ronnie was saying, it is challenging to find those people. I went through, man, dozens of people. I got screwed over. I probably lost $50,000 doing bad partnerships, but I didn't want life to beat me on this partnership thing, because I've seen, looking at Shark Tank, those guys doing big money deals, partnerships, and I'm like, why can't I do $100,000 partnership with somebody?
Yeah, so, I hear you. But like, you learned it though. Like this specific question was, he's starting out, right? And
yeah, so you're right.
I'm thinking you got to learn so that you can apply that to your partnership. And is your partner going to be vested as well as you are, not just with money, but with, acumen and knowledge and things of that nature. So, I mean, starting out and having a partner right from the beginning, I guess it'd have to be the right partner.
Yeah, it's got to be the right. Yeah, you're right, Ronnie, because he's not going to know what to look for, what character traits, what type of finances they have.
All of
Yeah,
that.
I like partnerships, no joke, auto, but yeah, I mean, just be leery. Get to know him for a year first. If you're going to do some business, like put some money up. Go ahead. You got the next one, Darnell Davis. You see him, Darnell? Ronnie?
Yeah, he says, Chris, he wants to get more info on subject to, but the videos they see are just on the surface. Do you have any place that he can find credible info so he can get to work? He wants to get to work right now.
Yeah, I got 2 on my channel, brother, and just email me. I can send you the documents. Matter of fact, I've got a link. I'll send you the documents for all the docs you need for subject to. Subject to, for our viewers that may or may not know, is where we buy a house. We buy a house, typically no or low cash. We don't put the house in our name. We do not qualify for a loan with the bank. We don't care about our credit report. We don't even talk about tax returns. We don't turn in a financial statement. Literally, we buy the house and we have none of that stuff. So yeah, subject to is the most powerful way to buy houses. And yeah, send me an email. Oh, and put my email. Ronnie, put yours up there too, brother.
Okay.
My email is chrisbuysHouses@gmail.com. Darnell, yeah, just shoot me an email, man. And just be a little patient with me. This week has been crazy. I'm just getting back from vacation and I've been backed up with stuff. So I'll get it out to you.
There's my email on the screen right there.
I like that, Ronnie. That's sharp. I got to get that program.
If you can't find Chris, email me. I'll get a hold of him.
Yeah. Ronnie Haskins.
So what was the next question?
Niche McAllister. I'm thinking big. Okay, good. She's thinking big as well, but got to get the small things done. And this is getting my first deal. Yes, right. Don't worry about doing 10. Huh?
Florence, South Carolina in the house.
Oh, that's what that is? Okay, Florence. Well, Ronnie, people want to be buying and flipping cars. I meet guys all the time because they want to be buying and flipping and selling cars all the time, as opposed to just focusing on that one. Like, you got a sweet spot. You don't even deal with cars that are, I remember you telling me, that are older cars. You have a specific type of car that you deal with in the car business world.
$15,000 plus under warranty still. So I don't like cars with a lot of miles. I don't like cars that are out of warranty. I don't like old cars. And that's just from experience. Like, so when you have this person that wants to flip stuff right away, I'm more interested in how much I have to lose. Like, people see flipping houses or cars as like a way to make a lot of cash, but they don't know how much cash you can lose with one bad decision.
Oh my Lord.
I'll give you a good example. Like, I had a person trade in a car. We thought it was a 4-wheel drive. Found out it was a 2-wheel drive. So instead of making 2,000, we lost 2,000. You can do it like that, but over time you get better. So when you're wanting to go out and flip houses and you're positioning yourself for that, just make sure that your knowledge is on point, because you always make your money on the buy. You don't make your money on the sale.
Nice. All right. Thinking big, yeah. That should have get you killed. Well, you have to think big. I had a coaching client tell me, Chris, I think big. I want to own apartment buildings. I'm like, man, we got to get you one house first, my brother.
Right.
All right. Nino Velos. How long do you have after signing a contract with the seller to find a buyer for the property? How long do you have after signing a contract agreement with the seller to get a buyer for that property? Nino, what's up? Nino Velos Brown. That's cool. So he's not brown.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, he's not brown. I'm just making that up. Nino Velos. Okay, first thing, we don't use contracts with the seller. We use agreements, right? We don't want to use the word contract. Contract is taboo. We don't want people think they're signing their life away. Purchase agreement, all right? Second thing is, you have as long as you have designated on your purchase agreement. But if you don't find a buyer, you can always just give it back to them. There is no set time. Ronnie, what in real estate, there is a strategy where we get a house under contract. I'm buying your house, Mr. Seller. And then we sell the paper. You can sell it for $5, $10, $15, $20, $50,000, and you're done. You with me?
Yes, sir.
So he wants to find how long does it take to find a buyer? Whatever's in your contract. I always use, if you want my contract, just email me. I always have a clause in there. It says a date, but then it says, I have a quote. I have language in there that says, we're going to close on February 1st or as soon as proper documentation can be provided. And that can mean 2 years. You know, I had an attorney, that little hornet in a marshmallow there, that little hornet in a piece of cotton, or as soon as proper documentation can be provided, can get you 2 years. All right. They get you 2 years on a piece of paper.
Wow.
Because what is proper documentation? It could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, proper documentation could be anything. Contracts are taboo.
Well, that's the thing. When we're buying, we want as much time as we can to sell that paper. So
Yeah.
proper documentation, that's just one of those things. You know, we have so many secrets, just like you, to drag. We can't find a buyer for that paper. We want to have little words in there that give us more time to find a buyer. That's all.
It's so different, man, because like my deals are all set. I have a buyer in place to buy that paper before I ever even contract you. So,
on the car?
Yeah. So basically, I have an approval on the screen. You come in, buy the car, sign the document, fax it to the buyer, and done. ACH account.
Wow.
All buttoned up. I mean, it's not, I'm never waiting for money. It's just different.
Yeah, it is different. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's just
That's
different.
yeah, that's cool. All right, Tim, brother Chris and Eddie discussed the ins and outs of owner financing. Powerful. Oh yeah, thank you, bro. Oh yeah, that's right, he did. Tim Brown, thanks for dropping that on us. Deke from Philly, what up, Deke? To be a wholesaler, do you need to be an LLC, or do you need to be a sole proprietor? Well, they're both the same. You're just a sole proprietor of the LLC.
Yeah.
Deke from Philly. So people think that, yeah, the paperwork here, you're going to have to check sole proprietor on the IRS documents unless you've got multiple people. And let me tell you, if you got multiple people on your LLC, you better be filing a tax return properly. Good God, I need to get some. I don't know who I'm talking to on this one, Ronnie.
You just need to hire an accountant and don't mess around. How about determined to win? Very wise to put things into perspective. Dreams do need to be measurable, attainable, and realistic. How long did it take you for you to see a profit from this business upon starting? That's a great question. Like I would say it took me building my business 4 years to turn a profit. I mean, we were profitable, but paying back loans and paying down debt, it probably took about 4 years to see a profit, like a real profit that you could be proud of. We can all make $1, but real profit that's sustainable, it took me about 4 years.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, you know what? Because you're always sinking money in, right? You're always taking some of your money and putting it back in.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know. To make a profit, I felt like I was broke for shit, man. I mean, people would see me doing houses, but I'm like, I'm just working.
I think that's the bigger thing, determined to win. It's like turning a profit is one thing, but not having to put more money back in and back in and back in, completely different thing. So Billy doesn't like that. He's like, when I said put money back in, Billy's like, no. So yeah, about 4 years to do that in my industry, which is the car business. But I think I've seen people turn a profit a lot faster.
Yeah,
be careful at that point.
I'm just gonna have to hold Billy around because the landscapers are walking around. He's gonna go crazy. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for work. It took me 5 years. Yeah, I say 5 years before I felt like, and I started in 04. Yeah, about 5 or 6 years.
Oh, I guess the next question is for me, man. Is it better to lease a luxury car or buy it a couple of years old? Okay, Mr. Transaction, how you doing, sir? So, like, leasing, in my opinion, and this is just based on 23 years of doing it, and I'm saying that to be funny because, there's other ways of doing it. But to me, leasing is only for new cars. Because once you start looking at leasing a used car or buying a used car, like, you should always first focus on leasing a new car. Because they do have used car leases out there. I have them as well. but it takes away all the benefit. Like if you're leasing a Lexus for 3 years or 36,000 miles, Lexus come with a 4-year warranty. So basically you're never worrying about maintenance or things breaking down or whatever the case may be. So Mr. Transaction, you can hit me up offline or email me or talk to me on the phone, and I'll help educate you on that for free, man.
Yeah, Mr. Transaction, my brother really has the knowledge on that. He helped me to understand. The first thing he told me is like, Chris, you're a house guy. You need to take all that house knowledge and just throw it away. Cars will never go up in value.
Never. They never go up in value. So I'm a big believer, like, you guys are cash flow guys. This leasing should resonate with you because taking 10, 15, 20,000 and put into a car that's going to zero, like I guarantee you, like it's the work. Like if I was coming to you, Mr. Transaction, and I'm like, hey man, need you to invest in this house. I need 20,000, and in 5 years you're gonna get nothing. You're gonna have absolutely zero, man. But it's gonna take about 5 years to get you to zero, but we're gonna get you there. And so you'd be like, you're crazy. So like on the car, it's just about cash flow. Like keep your 20 grand in the bank, go get the 350, 450 payment, depending on how much luxury you want, and have a good time.
Yeah.
And then redo it every 3 years. So we could talk about it offline. So, all right, here's another question. If you have a car and it breaks down and it's leased, can you go back to that dealership and get a car and get a new car? New York City. What's up? A Beezer from New York. So A Beezer from New York City. Let's see. Okay, so I'm under the impression that you leased that car from a dealer and now it's broken down and you want to know if you can take it back to that dealer and get a new car. So they have to repair it. Like, and I don't know if it's you leased a new car or a used car, but if let's just say you leased a new car, it's still under warranty, so you should be able to take it back and get it worked on for free and back on the road. I don't know why you would need to get a different car from them. Now, lemon law is a different thing. It only applies to new cars, but lemon law means that the dealer tried to fix the same problem on a new car 4 times and they couldn't get it done. And so then you can call the DA of the state and apply for the lemon law to see if they have to buy. And then the manufacturer buys the car back from you and you're off the hook. So I would like a little bit more stuff on that. So A Beezer, send me an email and I can take a look at that for you and see if it's something that you could do. But here's the email address right here. Shoot me an email and I'll take a look at it for you.
Nice. All right, we got No Joke Auto, Ronnie. If you decide to drive a beater work truck around, it's very important to find a good mechanic that actually knows how to fix things. Too many part changer mechanics out there nowadays. What do you think about that, Ronnie?
Dyer, Indiana. What's up, No Joke? Absolutely. I mean, number one, if you decide to drive a beater, which is, that's a philosophy. That's like, I love that philosophy too, because you're not having any monthly outgo. You've got a car that's working. Chris has actually lived this lifestyle for a long time, but it's you have to have a mechanic that you trust. So finding one that you can work with in your town, in your area is paramount. I have about 3 of them. I have a mobile guy. He'll go to your house. I have 2 shops. I have an upper end shop and I have a normal car shop. So basically, yeah, depending on what you're driving as that beater, make sure you have a mechanic that knows that product and understands it and can work on it and is reasonable. And then you'll be able to be fine. You can take it back to them. They can get you parts. They can get it fixed. And that's not a bad way to do it. It really isn't.
Yeah. Gene O'Connell. Hey, Gene, I'm looking for help. I'm a renter, lived in Maine. Oh, you're in Maine. Okay, 14 years in the same place. Landlord stopped fixing things. I want to know when I move how to find a good landlord. That might be out of the realm of, I don't know. Have I ever, how many years has it been since we have looked for a good landlord? Think about that. A good landlord. Oh, wow. Gene, Gene, I'm gonna have to think about that. There's so many bad ones. They stopped doing the repairs. I had to think about that one. So many slimy guys out here. I'm sorry, Gene. I can't. Ronnie, you got anything for that?
Let me read it.
He wants to know how to find a good landlord.
Okay, so I'm assuming you want to leave that property and go to a different property and have a new landlord. I mean,
Yeah.
so go and Google property management companies in your city, and it looks like you're in
Maine.
Maine. So yeah, Auburn, Maine. So basically, Google property management companies in your city and call them and ask them how their system works for renters, and they should be able to sit down with you and walk you through it, what inspections they do, things of that nature. I use a property manager for some of my properties, and they do a good job with making sure that there's constant communication with the renters and things they're going smooth. So I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Yeah, me too. Well, if you're dealing with a private guy, Ronnie's more of a major company. What he was talking about, but if you're dealing with a private landlord, I've got references from all my tenants. You want to just ask them for a reference. Can I get a few phone numbers of some tenants that you currently have? Martin K, what up? You in DC? Moving to Hampton? Okay. Oh, move to Hampton and rent from me. I guess you could.
Yeah.
A Beezer. When you're looking at specific emails in Gmail, you can either search for the person that emailed you or their email address. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I end up doing all the time, ABs. Sometimes ABs, or sometimes I'll do that and I have those two boxes and I'll be searching for it in the wrong box. Bad. It takes forever to find the
You got
email.
to look through all those emails.
Yeah. What about Mindy Ryder? What's the easiest way to find FS for sale by owner houses?
For sale by owner? Oh, Craigslist. They got them. I mean, everybody's putting stuff on Craigslist, and now it seems Facebook Marketplace is kind of ramping up. Is that it? You see anything else?
Yeah, I got one here. So Mr. Transaction asked Eddie, he's like, is it better to lease or buy a luxury car over 200,000? So you can even do one pay leases, Mr. Transaction. So in this town, we got the very first M5 all-wheel drive. They didn't make it until this year. And that car's it's like 128, so it's not over 200. But we did a one pay lease on that car. So that customer wrote a check for around $75,000. And then they don't have to come back for 3 years. So especially on cars over 200,000, like in my experience, and we can definitely talk about this offline, like they still go down, unless you're talking about, I would need to know the specific make. And then I could tell you, and I can look back. I've got Manheim auction data, so I can look exactly what they're selling for later, so we can see how fast they're depreciating. But that's a good question. If you're spending over 200 grand, it's definitely something we can look at, because you may be better off buying that car. But at this point, I'm not sure. But once we talk specifics, I can let you know.
Gotcha. All right, we're done.
That's it. Billy won't leave you alone.
Yeah, we're done. No more questions here, but yeah, you're done. Spiritual gal, yeah, I don't know what you needed, but I'll get you straight on everything you need. Ronnie,
Cool,
you want to drop one last thing and we gone?
Hold Billy up to the camera so we can see him.
I can't let him go. He's going to attack my landscape. He's going to start barking.
He's so cute, though.
Unbelievable. Okay,
I guess one thing I have for people is like, we're just using content that we have in our heads of all the experience we have, but we are definitely interested in answering your questions. So if you've got questions you want us to talk about, give us some answers in the comments box, and then we'll give you guys some feedback on what we're thinking. Thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Subscribe to my channel. You said I can't even hold my brick up. This damn dog, man. I mean, subscribe to the channel. Share the content with anybody you think they can use it. And I just want to leave one thing with you. Take time to just do. If it's something knocking on doors, my brother's a big one. I hear him always say making phone calls. A lot of people don't like making cold calls, but it's almost like you can't afford not to. You can't afford not to do this stuff. It's the hardest thing it's not the hardest thing to do, but when you think about it, I ask people, they say, I can't get a deal. I'm like, first thing I ask them, how many signs did you put out? Numbers can't lie. They just don't lie. It's impossible for them to lie. How many signs did you put out? How many letters did you mail out? How many offers did you make? How many people did you ask for money? You know? So if you like, I'm asking for people for money all the time. I'm looking for houses and money all day, every day. That's all I look for in my business. And if you're looking at numbers, and usually we are not being honest with ourselves, we didn't put the numbers in, right? Well, Ronnie, is it the same in your world too?
It's the same way, you know, like with my sales team, it's all about the numbers game. You know, like we all want to sell 15 cars and make a lot of money, but what are you doing to sell the first car and build your reputation and make those phone calls? I mean, it's just I call it eating your vegetables. My kid doesn't like eating the vegetables, and I'm telling him eat them first. Eat the vegetables first. So when you get up to go to work, eat your vegetables first. Do the stuff that's hard, and then the stuff you like to do becomes easier. We didn't touch on that, the resistance things today, Chris. The
Oh
things that
yeah.
give you the most resistance, you're most avert to, like, you know, I don't want to do that. Do those first, and that way they're done. And put a timer up on your desk. Like, I'm gonna work on this hard stuff for 1 hour, and you'll be surprised how much of that hard stuff you get through. And
Yeah.
what we're trying to teach you is that's where the magic happens. Like when you're doing the hard stuff, you're learning so much. Your brain is on hyperactivity. Like you never come out of doing hard stuff dumber. You always come out of hard stuff with a brighter outlook on it. I'll tell you a good example. I made like 10 phone calls. All 10 of them were no's and bad and evil. And it's so bad that I ended up going playing golf for the rest of the day. But when
Wow.
I came back to make the phone calls the next day, I had a different perspective because I had to go through that. I had to go through that pain in order to enjoy the joy of people saying yes. So
Gotcha.
eat your vegetables first. Eat your vegetables first.
All right, guys, subscribe, like the content. I'll see you soon.
Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.